Hey everyone, welcome back to Daily Devotions. Pastor Steve here walking with you in God's Word. We're in the prophet Zechariah, prophet and priest, as we established yesterday in the video to kick off the prophecy of Zechariah. So the prophet Zechariah, the priest Zechariah, chapter 2. And being able to kind of connect again, if you didn't get the full context of it, but great history, people coming back from Babylon, from the exile, God restoring his people. That's really the prophecy of Zechariah. An encouragement to the people that God is for you, that God is with you, that God is going to restore not just the walls of Jerusalem, not just the temple of Jerusalem, but the presence of God with his people. And there is going to be great prosperity there of population growth and safety and protection from the powers around them. And so we get to see from Syria and Egypt and Babylon, and we get to see throughout these powers from the north, from the east, from the south, even from the west, as we get to see Zechariah chapter 2 prophesies God's going to restore you, but not just restore your people back from exile to bring you together and have that great celebration. He's going to protect you as well. And so part of that protection is being able to see the growth that they will have, that they won't have to go into war, into battle, and being able to try to protect themselves in the city of Jerusalem in this way. And the way that Zechariah is doing this, or frankly God is doing this to Zechariah, is through visions. There is 8 visions that he is beholding in these first 6 chapters. And so we already went through 2 of them in chapter 2. Now, chapter 1, in chapter 2, we get to see another vision. And this is really pushing you towards restoration rather than just the protection of his people. Establishment of his people in chapter 1 back into Jerusalem from exile. Along with contemporaries of Haggai and the prophecies of Jeremiah and Isaiah are starting to really come true because that was about 200 to 300 years ago. Well, Jeremiah's more like 100. But anyways, back from exile, being at peace within Jerusalem. What will God do with his people? We get to see that in Zechariah chapter 2. So let's begin together. Zechariah chapter 2 verse 1 says, "Then I looked up." And this is Zechariah's vision, right? Want to reiterate again, a vision, not a dream. It is happening at night, but these are literal visions that are put before him. Maybe even visits, as we get to see with angelic kind of relationships and visions that he's seeing. "Then I looked up, and there before me was a man with a measuring line in his hand. 'Where are you going?' And he answered me, 'To measure Jerusalem, to find out how wide and how long it is.'" Right? To build up, right? The restoration, we get to see the measuring line to be able to see what kind of building, what kind of construction. But the bigger thing about that is a measuring line, a plumb line, as we see in other prophecies, is a part of the restoration, but a part of the protection of God. "Then the angel who was speaking to me left, and another angel came to meet me and said to him, 'Run, tell that young man,'" which is Zechariah, "Jerusalem will be a city without walls because of the great number of men and livestock in it." It's going to be so, like I said, the population growth is going to go so much. There's going to be walls, right? There definitely is walls because Nehemiah came back and built those walls in 52 days. An incredible feat. But the reality towards the population growth and the restoration and the prosperity that God is going to bring back to Jerusalem, it's going to go beyond its walls. Because, as it says here, "Run, tell that young man Jerusalem will be a city without walls because of the great number of men and livestock in it." Verse 5 says, "And I myself will be a wall of fire around it." A wall of fire, right? Divine presence. As we get to see this angel being used by God to be able to actually have a wall of fire, God's presence, divine presence around it, declares the Lord, "and I will be its glory within." Right? This is what God is declaring. He is going to be the protection. Divine presence, the fire of wall, right? Just like we got to see on Sinai with the fire and the pillar of fire leading the Israelites. God himself will be this this wall of fire protecting them. Verse 6 says this, "Come, come, flee from the land of the north, declares the Lord. For I have scattered you to the four winds of heaven, declares the Lord." In the dysphoria, right? In the dispersion, in the exiles, Jerusalem was released to the north and to the east and to the west and to the south. Excuse me. And as they were dispersed through exile and through conquering from, like Babylon came from the north to take over Judah. This is where it's speaking, right? Flee from the land of the north, right? From Israel being taken over by Assyria, then Babylon, then Persia from the east, and Egypt from the south. And it says, I have scattered you to the four winds, but I'm calling you back, uniting you together. Verse 7 says, "Come, O Zion, the people of God." This is what it's speaking to. "Escape, you who live in the daughter of Babylon. For this is what the Lord Almighty says. After he has honored me and has sent me against the nations that have plundered you, for whoever touches you touches the apple of his eye." And this is something, because this is a saying, especially throughout Jewish communities or Judaism, the apple of his eye, going all the way back to Deuteronomy, speaking to this, that the eye, and actually the literal meaning of apple, or frankly pupil of the eye, this is the most important part of the eye. And so he's just declaring this: you are my people, right? You are the importance within my kingdom. I will surely, for whoever touches you touches the apple of his eye. When people come and avenge you, when people come to battle against you, my people, right? They're touching something important to God, not just to the land, as it says here. If whoever touches you touches the apple of his eye. I will surely raise my hand against them, so that their slaves will plunder them. He's going to reverse it on these people that come against his people. Then you will know that the Lord Almighty has sent me. Shout and be glad, O daughter of Zion, for I am coming. I will live among you, declares the Lord. Many nations will be joined with the Lord in that day and will become my people. That's like the promise of Abraham's covenant way back in Genesis 15. All nations will come together in that way, right? Many nations will be joined with the Lord in that day and will become my people. I will live among you, and you will know that the Lord Almighty has sent me to you. The Lord will inherit Judah as his portion in the Holy Land, and will again choose Jerusalem. Be still before the Lord, all mankind, because he has roused himself from his holy dwelling. Like this courtroom scene, the judge has roused himself. All rise. The honorable judge is at hand, and he's going to do his work. What an encouragement for the people. If you get that context right there, over these last 70, 100 years, as we get to see, they've been dispersed. They've been taken out into Babylon. Now they're actually under Zerubbabel, under Nehemiah, and coming back, and Ezra being able to hear the word of the Lord once again, and restructure the temple and the walls of Jerusalem. It's like restoration is starting to happen, but the biggest restoration isn't necessarily the walls or the temple or any kind of building that is happening in Jerusalem. No, the restoration is God is promising to return to his people, and his presence will be with them, and his protection will be at hand. And again, they will be this nation of promises and of covenant, and being able to flourish because they're honoring and glorifying God, and he's returning to them as before. And he'll be with his people. Such an encouragement, right? It felt like God was distant from them as they were dispersed, and as they weren't in the land. They were able to worship in the temple, but here it's all coming back together again. What an encouragement. God is bringing his people in many other nations back to be his people in the place of his presence, under his protection, and amongst his glory and divine protection with that wall of fire around them. The encouragement that we can hear today as well. Not just of ages ago that God was doing this with people back in Jerusalem, but you and me, brothers and sisters. God's promise, God's covenant. He says, I will be with you always. That's such the great encouragement that we need to hear today. He's protecting us. We are the apple of his eye, the important part of his kingdom. So important that he sent his son Jesus to die for you. So I pray that you can hear encouragement today through Zechariah, of ages ago, but very present here this day. Our God will protect you. Our God is for you. Our God is with you. Being able to bring you forth into what this day holds. Maybe it's a battle, but God fights your battles. He's with you. Maybe it's just a joy to be able to have into this day, and it's maybe an ease of today. Give thanks. Have gratitude, for your God is with you. Have a blessed day, knowing he's always around you. He's always with you, and he's always going ahead of you to be able to continue to prosper his kingdom that has no end. Have a blessed day.